descent into memory horror, glitch mythology, and cyber-rot identity collapse. You are a file that never finished saving. First line, scratched into the wall of Sector 0 by someone with your handwriting. 001.00, system failure. It begins with a sound, not thunder, not voice, more like a static cough inside your skull. You awaken face down on a floor made of glass. Beneath it, thousands of eyes, each blinking out of sync. Each one is yours. Each one is not. The room around you glows faint green, phosphor light like an abandoned server farm left on too long after the apocalypse. There's a screen in the wall, it flickers on. Recovery incomplete. Identity on no file, unstable, do not activate. You have been activated. 001.00.01, walking corruption. You move, your legs work, sort of. Your skin itches in binary. There's a folder icon burned into your palm. You don't remember getting it, but you feel it, like it's always been there. It pulses with light every time you think about escape. This isn't a dream, it's a backup. You've been restored from some old version of yourself, dumped into the deepest sector of Echo Rotten, archive void, access class null. They didn't want you found, which means someone woke you on purpose. 001.02, the monk made of errors. The first thing you see alive is an archivist. A tall, bone-thin figure robed in shattered screens. Its face, an old crash report printed on human skin. It smells like burned ozone and old ink. It says nothing, just holds out a mirror made of sound. You look, you see, a child you never were, a war you never fought, a smile that doesn't belong to your face, and written across your chest, glitch spawn, return to source. You scream. The sound doesn't leave your mouth. The archivist bows and vanishes into a column of corrupted light. Hex 001.03, memories you didn't make. Sector 0 is alive. The walls breathe. The floor whispers. Everything is coated in dust made of shredded data. You can taste the decades. As you walk the empty corridors, a door opens by itself. Inside, a birthday party frozen mid-motion. Balloons hang in stasis. A cake with your name, but the wrong name. Everyone turns to look at you, but has no faces. A hallway filled with water that doesn't move. Inside it you float, but you're still here, watching yourself drown forever. A terminal blinking in the dark. It says, "Welcome back, corrupted. Your death was a success." 00124, voice from the dark. You hear her voice before you remember her name. It buzzes in your head like radio from another life. "Don't go deeper," she says. "You're already too many versions down." You freeze. Your heart glitches. Literally, your heartbeat stutters like a broken audio file. You whisper, "Who are you?" She answers, "I'm what you left behind to survive." The part of you that didn't want to remember. Then, static, she's gone. You feel something watching you now. Not the archivists. Not the system. Something worse. 001.00.05, the forgotten self. At the end of the corridor, you find it. A mirror, but not a mirror. It's showing you. But older, meaner, broken in sacred ways. He looks at you like you're the glitch. You were my backup. The cheap copy. The spare dream. You try to speak. He's already inside you. Not metaphorically, physically. He moves through the mirror like smoke, wrapping around your lungs, your spine, your sense of self. You fall to your knees. He whispers, "You woke up in the wrong world, and now it's going to collapse because of you." The lights die. 001.0006, error, reality exceeded. You awaken again. Or maybe you didn't fall asleep. You're standing in a massive vault with thousands of shelves, each filled with people in jars. They blink, one of them smiles. It's you. A message flashes overhead. Select version to delete. Warning, unauthorized user detected. Todd, purge initiated. Sirens begin to scream. The vault shakes. A face of pure static tears open in the wall, wide and screaming. And then, your hand moves without your permission. You select a file. You delete someone. You feel lighter. And something deep in the city starts waking up. Episode 2, Sector D13, the door made of screensavers. The world behind the glitch is only a fragment of a forgotten dream. And you are its echo. Sound of static crackling followed by the slow whir of a malfunctioning machine. The faint sound of a door creaking open followed by an eerie silence. The camera lingers bathed in a dull flickering light. Narrator in a low, fragmented tone. Sector D13, a corridor lost to time. You thought you understood the glitch, but it's deeper now. The walls here hum in the language of deleted memories, the fractured echoes of things never meant to be, the forgotten dreams that loop in endless cycles. They wait for you. The view shifts, revealing a hallway, empty but for the light sources, square and lifeless like pixelated windows. Each door is different, labeled with nonsensical words, but one stands out. The door made of screensavers. Its surface ripples like a screen glitching, distorted yet oddly captivating. Footsteps echo in the empty corridor. The air is thick with the sound of something shifting, like the digital presence of a forgotten world being restored from a broken file. Your pulse quickens. You've stepped into the moment of your deletion, the point where you were lost. Not erased, not gone, just forgotten. Every step you take, you relive it. Every thought you have, it's been recycled, looped in the glitch, a forgotten dream waiting to end. The camera pans to the door, closer now, the screensaver flickering wildly with distorted shapes and bursts of light. A growing hum, a pulse like something powerful awakening. The glitch is alive here. It knows what you've forgotten, and it knows what you will forget. Every door leads you further into the abyss. Every step brings you closer to the loop. And that door, it's calling to you. Can you resist? The camera zooms in on the flickering door, a surreal pattern forming across the surface, a dreamlike sequence of images that flicker in and out, memories of things never truly experienced. Shapes, faces, words. They twist, melt into one another like an old screensaver gone wrong. The sound of the door opening with a crack, followed by a sudden surge of static. Narrator, now barely audible. When you step through, you lose yourself. You become the glitch, forgotten. But the glitch isn't just a place, it's a time, and time, once broken, has no end. The scene darkens. Only the sounds of looping static and the distant hum of a machine remain. The screen begins to fracture into pixelated blocks as if the entire reality is slowly being deleted. The narrator's voice is now barely a whisper, as if they, too, are slipping away into the void. Can you remember who you were before you were deleted? Or are you just another dream waiting to loop? The screen flickers one last time, then cuts to black. Let me know if this works for episode 2. Chapter 3, The Archive of Forgotten Time. The glitch runs deeper now into places even time has abandoned. Every memory you've ever had and never had, it's all here, waiting for you to remember what was lost. The scene opens with the distant sound of a clock ticking, slowly, irregularly, before a loud, jarring static cuts through. We're in another part of the glitch, one far darker than before. The hallway is now lined with what seems like old filing cabinets, their labels unreadable and flickering like broken text on a screen. The camera zooms in on one of the cabinets, the metallic sound of a drawer sliding open. Narrator. Time was never meant to be stored, yet here it is, the archive of forgotten time, where every second you lost, every moment you wish you could change, is cataloged, tucked away behind rusted steel and cracked glass. The camera pulls back to reveal rows of endless cabinets, each seemingly stacked with memories, forgotten, misplaced, and abandoned. The camera glides along the aisles of the archive, the air thick with the scent of decay, a coldness that can almost be felt through the screen. Every cabinet is sealed shut, marked with broken labels and pixelated numbers. At times, the numbers flicker like they're being corrupted, changing before the eye can fully process them. Slightly more urgent. You never asked to be stored here, but your memories, they were always here, waiting. The moment you walked through Sector D13, you signed your name into the archive. You thought you could escape. The camera stops at a particular cabinet. Its label flickers, partially readable, your first memory. The sound of the drawer sliding open fills the space. Inside, there is a single file, a folder that looks like it's been crumbling for centuries. The sound of paper crinkling fills the air as the folder is pulled out. Inside, there's a single photograph, its edges worn, faded, and pixelated, an image of someone or something you don't remember. You know this is your first memory, but it feels wrong. It's not how you remember it. How many times have you tried to remember it, to recall the faces, the places? You can't, because time isn't a straight line here. It's a loop, a cycle. The archive isn't just storing your memories, it's trapping them, freezing them in time. The photograph begins to glitch, its edges blurring and distorting as the image morphs into something else. A blurry, indistinct figure starts to emerge from the pixelated mess, and the sound of faint whispers fills the space. Suddenly, the camera shifts as though it's been pulled into the photograph. We're now inside the memory, or what's left of it. A street from long ago, empty, lifeless, save for the strange figure in the distance. Soft, almost sorrowful. Can you remember where this place is? You've walked these streets, you've stood at the corner, watched the trees sway in the wind. You remember the feeling of it? The air, the light, but not the details. Because the archive is a thief of time. It steals the truth from you, and the longer you linger in its halls, the more you forget. The figure in the distance starts moving toward the camera, slow and deliberate. The closer it gets, the more distorted it becomes, like the image itself is disintegrating. The whispers grow louder. That's not you. Not the you remember. Something else is in your place. Something the archive wants you to believe is you. Something that doesn't belong here. The camera flickers back to the archive, where the file is now empty. The folder is crumpled and torn as if it's been manipulated by some unseen force. The camera swings back to the aisles of the archive. The cabinets now pulse, like they're breathing, exhaling static as they begin to shake and distort. It's like the entire archive is alive, and it knows the protagonist is here. You shouldn't have opened it. You should have left it buried. But now you're here, and the truth has caught up with you. There are no happy endings in this place. There is only what's forgotten and what's erased. Final scene, the loop. The scene begins to disintegrate. The cabinets start to vanish, leaving only darkness and the constant ticking of the clock. The figure in the memory is now right in front of the protagonist. Its face is twisted, blurry, an impossible thing. Can you hear it? The tick of the clock? Time is a loop, and you're caught inside it. This place doesn't forget, it only resets. And now, it's your turn. The clock's ticking grows louder until it's deafening. The last image fades to black, leaving behind only the ticking sound, which slowly distorts into an eerie hum. How does this one feel? Chapter 3, The Archive of Forgotten Time. Opening scene, the sound of a deep, malfunctioning hum, like machinery struggling to keep functioning. The camera opens to a cold, dimly lit corridor. It stretches endlessly, the walls lined with ancient, rusting filing cabinets. The flickering light overhead is a sickly greenish hue, reminiscent of a broken fluorescent bulb. The hum grows louder with each step the protagonist takes. Footsteps echo in the silence, slowly intensifying as the protagonist walks deeper into the archive. Faint whispers can be heard, but they are indistinct, like distant voices speaking a language that doesn't exist anymore. Time was never meant to be stored, yet here it is, the archive of forgotten time, where every second you lost, every moment you wished you could change is cataloged, stored, trapped, locked away in these drawers that breathe and wait. The camera pans across endless rows of filing cabinets. Each cabinet is old and weathered, with labels peeling off and flickering, as if they're being corrupted by the glitch itself. Some labels are barely readable, while others are just blank, empty. Scene transition. The whispering cabinet. The camera lingers on a series of cabinets. There's an unsettling feeling as the protagonist approaches one. Its label is in a language that feels familiar but unreadable. A deep, irregular pulse reverberates through the space, like the heartbeat of the archive itself. The air thickens with tension. The hum of the glitch is now accompanied by faint, metallic sounds, like the creaking of a broken machine or something being slowly unscrewed. Every moment of your life, every thought you've had, every path you've crossed, it's here. locked in these drawers, and once it's cataloged, it's never truly yours again. The archive doesn't forget. It stores, it controls. First memory, the cabinet's truth. The protagonist pulls open the drawer of the first cabinet. Inside is a single file, an old crumpled folder that smells faintly of dust and decay. The folder is labeled, but the label is worn away, leaving only fragments of letters. As the drawer opens, a loud screech of metal is heard. The protagonist pulls out the file with trembling hands. Inside, there's a photograph, a faded image of a child standing in front of a house. It's a moment that should feel familiar, yet the figure in the photo feels wrong. The details blur and shift, as though it's someone else's memory, not their own. Can you remember this moment, the feeling of this place, the warmth of the sun, the weight of this memory? It isn't yours anymore. The archive has stolen it, and it's only the first of many. The photograph flickers, becoming glitchy. The colors bleed into each other, the image warping and distorting until it is completely unrecognizable. The edges of the photo dissolve into static.
New scene, the glitch grows.
The camera pulls back. The protagonist looks around, their breath quickening. The hallway seems to stretch infinitely now, like it's expanding outward, its boundaries breaking apart. The filing cabinets vibrate, the hum of the glitch becoming louder and more erratic. The cabinets start opening on their own. Files spill out onto the floor, their contents bleeding into the air, forming a cloud of broken memories, whispers, and fleeting images. The glitch is consuming everything. The protagonist reaches out, but their hand passes through the air like it's made of static. The archive isn't just a place, it's a machine that devours time, that steals your past, and it feeds on you, on your memories. The longer you stay, the more it erases. The camera zooms in on a particular file, one that seems to shimmer with a strange, unsettling light. The protagonist approaches it with hesitation. As they reach for the file, a loud screech fills the air, followed by a static burst that distorts everything on screen. The first deletion, the encounter with the glitch. The screen glitches violently, blurring into a scene that's familiar, yet alien. The protagonist is standing in front of a door they've seen before, but they cannot recall where or when. A digital voice, mechanical, cold, speaks from nowhere. Voice, digital, distorted. Do you wish to remember, or shall we erase it all? The protagonist steps forward, their heart pounding. The door opens to reveal a vast empty space filled with cascading, glitching images, moments of their life that never happened, fragments of forgotten dreams, lost time. The air is thick with static, crackling and popping like a broken television. Narrator, distorted, now mixed with glitchy sounds. The glitch isn't just consuming the archive, it's consuming you. Every step you take, you lose a piece of yourself. And once you step into that void, there's no going back, because time doesn't just reset here, it deletes. The struggle, lost memories, lost time. The protagonist stumbles, the world around them distorting more rapidly. The files around them begin to swirl like a cyclone, sucking in everything they've ever known. Their movements slow as their own memories seem to stretch, warp, and unravel. They try to speak, but the words seem to glitch out before they can even form. Every time they try to move, they feel as though they're being pulled in 1,000 directions at once. The fabric of time is unraveling and they're caught in its pull.
You're fading.
You're becoming part of the glitch now. The more you resist, the more you forget. Time was never meant to be stored, and now it's erasing you. Suddenly, the world around the protagonist shifts completely. They are no longer in the archive. They are in a void, dark, empty, and silent. The ticking of a clock is the only sound. The protagonist looks around, realizing that everything has disappeared. No files, no cabinets, just the dark void and the oppressive ticking. Can you hear it? The tick of the clock? The countdown has begun. And when it stops, everything will be gone. Time, once lost, can never be recovered. The camera slowly zooms in on the protagonist, who stands frozen, caught in the overwhelming silence of the void. The ticking grows louder until it is all-consuming. The protagonist reaches out, but there is nothing to hold on to. They are suspended in time, trapped forever. You are lost to the glitch now. The archive doesn't let go, and neither will time. Final scene, the echoes of forgotten time. The camera slowly fades into darkness. The ticking of the clock continues, louder and louder until it becomes a deafening roar. The screen flashes with fragmented images of moments, faces, and places, each one distorted by the glitch. The ticking stops. Everything goes quiet.